Hey guys, in this video we will talk about bill of quantity, what is it and how it is used in the construction. Suppose that you're doing some building construction project, all the drawings and details are ready and the client comes to you and asks you, hey engineer, what is the total cost of my project? Or let's say that the project manager comes to you and asks you, what is the total RCC work that we need to do in this project? How do you find the answers? So you find the answers from the document known as bill of quantity. Okay. So as you can see over here, it's a bill, right? So when you go to a grocery shop, you buy a lot of things. And if you see the bill, what the bill will have, it will have the list of all the things that you bought. On the side, there will be the quantity of the things that you bought, and then there will be the price and the total amount. Okay, same goes for the construction as well. So it's a bill. So basically it's the list of all the things that will be done in this project, and it is the list of what? All the quantities. Okay, it's the list of all the quantities. This is over here a part of a real BOQ, and at the end of this video I will show you the actual BOQ file as well, and I'll put that file in the video description as well. You can download it from there. Before we continue, a quick reminder: if you are enjoying this session and want to learn more in depth, I have created some of the best-selling courses on Udemy that cover these topics step by step. They are designed especially for civil engineering students and professionals with real-world examples, project files, and clear explanations just like you are seeing here. So make sure to check the link in the description below to get special discounted access to my courses. Alright, let's get back to the lecture. For example, over here you can see it's a concrete work, okay, and it's 2 and 2.1, it's a PCC work. So the first thing is what work will be done. So you see the work will be PCC work and it falls under the concrete work, okay. So it is the division, and then you see how it will be done. So this part will say how it will be done. So it will be done providing and laying machine. So it needs to be machine mixed plain cement concrete. You cannot hand mix it with 20 mm down aggregate. So it gives you information about what sort of aggregate it should be used, including necessary side shuttering. It means that if, for example, this is the area, okay, this is the normally what we do is that once we do the excavation like this, okay, once the excavation is done and you lay on the floor some stones for stone soling, and on the stone soling you are supposed to do the PCC work, okay. Okay, so what it says that the shuttering required to hold the PCC, it's included here, okay, it's included in the price of the PCC, and then you provide the necessary side shuttering, and once you lay down, pour down the PCC over here, okay, then you need to do the compaction. Then you need to, once it is done, you need to compact it, then you need to level it, you need to cure it, and other things that need to be done for PCC. All complete, you have to do this as per the drawings, specifications, and the construction. And the mix for the PCC is M10 grade of concrete, and the ratio for the mix is 1:3:6, okay, cement, sand, and aggregate. So this is the information that you get. This is a part of the specifications, okay. BOQ has this little summary, you can say a summary kind of thing from the specifications. So okay, next is you will get information about how this will be measured. So this is unit. So how this will be measured. So the PCC will be measured in meter cube. It means that they will measure the length, they will measure the breadth, and the depth will be measured, and the quantity will be taken. This unit comes from the standards of measurement, and it is widely followed throughout the construction works. For example, the concrete work you measure in meter cube, and the rebar works you measure in kilogram. can you measure the rebar works, or let's say the steel works, in meter cube? Well, it can be done, but this is the standard. Also, the soldering work or the form works, it's measured in meter square. Okay, so it's different units of measurements are followed, and there are standards, and we follow those standards. So the unit is given, and this unit is also very important. If let's say you are measuring PCC in meter square and not in meter cube, then the quantity will change and also the price will change. So this, what is the unit, is very important. Okay, next is the quantity that's been taken over here. Since this is a BOQ, so how this quantity comes over here? To understand how this quantity is taken over here, you need to understand how the BOQ is prepared. So once all the drawings are ready, then the quantity surveyor will take off the quantity. From the drawings, he will measure everything: the size of the foundation, the size of the footing, all the size of the columns, beam, slab, all the concrete works, brickworks, everything. He will measure from the drawings. So we say that it's an estimate. Okay, it's not the final quantity, it's an estimate. So from the drawings, what he will do, for example, if you got 10 footings, okay, if you got 1 footing, 2, 3, and so on, you got 10 footings. So he will measure PCC work for all these footings, and also let's say for some boundary wall you are doing, everything he will measure for all those areas, and then he will add up those quantities to get this final quantity of M10 grade of PCC. If M15 is required somewhere, then you need to add 2.1.2 same PCC nominal mix, then it will be M15. Okay, similarly if you need M20, normally it's only M10. Okay, this is how the quantities are fed into the BOQ. Then comes the rate. This rate, as this is an estimate, this rate is also an estimate. It comes from the rate analysis. So the rate is fed. So you multiply the quantity with the rate to get the total amount of that item. So it's item 1, then we got item 2, item 3, item 4, 5, 6. Okay. So for all these items, you get the quantity, you get the rate, you get the amount. Quantity, rate, amount. So this is rate and this is amount. And once you have the amount, you add up to get the total amount of the concrete work. Total amount of the concrete work. Okay. Similarly, after the concrete work, you may have masonry work. And then you may have, let's say painting work. Okay, painting work, let's say example, and you add up everything, and you at the end you add the total, and you get the total cost of construction. These are the civil works. So this is a civil BOQ. Similarly, after that you have electrical BOQ, which lists all the electrical works. Then you have plumbing BOQ, and then you have AC BOQ, HVAC, heating, ventilation, and AC BOQ. And then you get the total cost from here: electrical works, plumbing works, BOQ, and then if you add, you get the final price, final cost of the construction of that particular project. Okay, so having this information about what is BOQ, next thing is why do we need a BOQ? Next thing is, why do we need a BOQ? The first important thing that I said to you is, if the client asks you what is the total cost of my project, of the construction, then to answer that question, you need the BOQ. So the first answer is estimate of the project cost. So you will get the project cost estimate from the BOQ. And also for each item, let's say how much concrete work is there, how much machinery work is there, how much plumbing work is there, how much electrical work is there, including the quantity and the price you will get from the BOQ. So it's a very, very important document. Next is for the tendering process also you need a BOQ. So once the drawings are prepared, all the contract documents are ready, the consultant will prepare the BOQ, and in the BOQ prepared by the consultant for the tendering, what they will do is that they will have all these items listed, okay? Then they will have the unit and the quantity. They will not fill the price. And then this blank document, blank means the rate is not filled. This document will be given to the contractors, okay? Let's say the contractor A, contractor B, and contractor C. So they will get these documents. They will get this document along with other documents also that are there. So once they get the document, they will get their rates. They will fill up their rates. For example, contractor A will fill, let's say 100. Contractor B will fill, let's say 120, 90. Example, okay. Similarly, for the RCC work, contractor A might fill, let's say 200, 210, and let's say 250. Example. So they will fill all these rates. Then they will get the final quantities, the final amounts, okay. And then this BOQ, you can use it for making a comparison sheet of how the contractors are performing, how the contractors have quoted the rates, and then it will help you to find the best contractor among that participated in the bidding process. So this second use is the tendering process, and the third use is for the interim payment. Let's say contractor A is awarded the contract. Then they will go to the site, execute the project, and during the execution, let's say that they have done some work, okay. So for example, the PCC, the total quantity is 9.3 meter cube. Now let's say that they have done 2 meter cube of work, okay. So this will be as per BOQ here on this side, and this will be executed work will be 2 meter cube, and the rate will be here as per BOQ, and the executed it will be here, so that you know what is the total amount of work that needs to be done and how much they have done so far. So this will keep on increasing. So first interim payment will be like this, second interim payment, so BOQ will stay, and it might be, let's say 6 meter cube. With each interim payment bill, you have the idea of where the contractor stands in terms of execution of the work, okay, how much it is there to be done and how much they have done. But one important thing is that the quantity that you see over here, all these quantities, they are not the actual quantities, they are the estimates. As I said, the estimates are prepared by the consultants, okay. The consultant's office prepares these estimates from the drawings, and the actual quantities at site will differ from these estimated quantities, okay. While doing the construction work, it's 100% sure that these will not match 100%. They will differ. So when they differ in amount, let's say as per the BOQ, the PCC is 9.3, and at the site it's only 50% of the work done, but the PCC volume from the interim payment, you see that it's already 8 meter cube at 50% time schedule, okay. And from the drawings, you see that there are other undone works that you have not executed yet, that where the PCC will be done. Then you know that this estimated quantity is going to exceed. Okay, let's say in the third interim payment, the PCC quantity executed now is 12 meter cube, which is more than the estimated quantity. Okay, so to make this payment to the contractor, you need to do the variation order. So it's a different topic, we'll talk in some other video. So you will need to do the variation, and you will need to get approve the variation order, so that we call it variation order or VO, so that your actual quantity and your BOQ quantity is adjusted. Okay, not only about the quantity, there might be the scenario that during the construction you might need to do something that is not listed in the BOQ. Let's say, as I said, while doing the construction, it might require that you need to do M15 grade of PCC and it's not in the BOQ. Then what do? You do the variation again, variation order, you add this quantity to the BOQ, then only you execute it. Okay, and also for the contractors, this document, this BOQ document forms the basis of whether or not they should do something or not. If a certain item, we call these as the items, if certain item is in the BOQ, they are liable to do it. If not, then they are not liable to do it. Okay, they can say that they are not willing to do it. And also there are a lot of other things. For example, if let's say this is the estimated quantity in the BOQ and the actual quantity at the site, it increases more than 10%, then the contractor is liable to revise this rate. He is not liable to do the quantity beyond 10% increase in the same rate. Okay, he may revise it if needed. So those are a lot of things that come from the FIDIC. I hope you understood that BOQ is the backbone of the contract execution or the project execution, and it's a very important document. Now let me show you the actual BOQ and how it looks like. So this is a BOQ. Okay, and you can see that it's an abstract of the estimate. You can name the project, location, date, and what type of building is, and it's a civil works BOQ. So a civil works, item number 1 is the foundation earthwork, and item number 1.1 is earthwork in excavation, and this shows how the excavation will be done. Unit, you see the quantity, you see the rate in Nepali rupees, and then the amount. Similarly for the filling works and different types of fillings. Okay, and then the concrete works that I just showed you. After that we got the masonry works. So MASONRY, oh sorry, I wrote MANAR, masonry, NRY. Okay, and in the brick masonry work also we got first class brick work in foundation for the brick soling works, and then for the walls 9-inch. Okay, then the flat brick soling with the sand filling in the gap, and also stone soling in foundation. Then there is stone soling in foundation, which comes under the masonry work. So it's a 3 is masonry work, 3.1 is brick masonry work, and 3.2 is stone masonry work. Similarly for the doors and windows, and for the flooring works, finishing work includes cement plaster work, cement plastering, and wall putty works, and then the painting works. Okay, and then some miscellaneous works that you may add depending upon your project. Sometimes there might be some additional things that are not in the standards, and you may add over here, and then you add all the things, all the subtopics, and you get the final quantity of the civil works, and you prepare. Similarly, you do this for the electrical, you do this for the sanitary. Okay, so here is site development, or you can do this for the AC works, and you add, or any other things that are there, and you add to get the total cost of construction. Okay, so guys, this is for this video. I hope this video was helpful.